We now have Three Waters Quarterly Update activities update from Gavin, so you can tell us everything we need.
Good afternoon, everyone. Three Waters Quarterly Report from April to June 2025. So I wasn't going to run through the full report. I can if you want. I was going to call out some main points, which is obviously you can see we've had some results in the leakage. It's gone down. Still a lot of work to be done, but we're heading in the right direction. Across the board, compliance is good. We're still working to get Cannon Street and Wainui compliant protozoa end of the year. So the two last ones to do.
Which street?
Cannon Street pump station. That's a pump station in Christchurch that needs a UV installed. And you can see the figures in the report regarding all the non-compliances. The money to do around process, intermittent high pouring lines, etc. As we start to roll out our instrumentation across the city, that will reduce more control, as opposed to at the moment we're doing a lot of manual grab samples to understand how the pump stations are operating, so that'll become more automated over time. And I'm happy to take questions.
Yes,
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah, I'm happy to.
No, that's right.
New highlights. It's just one thing.
If you used all your highlights, huh?
Well, every day's a highlight for Three Waters.
That's fine. Okay, Pauline, please.
So are you unable to get the slides up? Or?
I can run through.
I just wonder if you could talk me through the slide on page 7. It's pretty complex looking, the water losses, the function targets, and just explain to me whether the gain is in the loss of losses. Is that right?
So yeah, I think the in terms of improvement in water loss, so we've got percentage there, which is dropped down to 28.5%. The challenge with percentages, you can also note that our water consumption has gone down for the year. So that does play around with the leakage percentage. That's why we prefer to use, which is what Tomato ROI are now using, is the infrastructure leakage index. So that is, I'll just jump to the next slide. The infrastructure leakage index is broken into 4 bands, A through to D. Obviously D means that we're a very efficient system, it's high leakage. C means poor leakage and we can improve. So you can see across there, all our zones are broken down to, so I've got 23% in band A, 50% in band D. This year we've had 9 zones move from band D down to band C. And so we're concentrating in that area of those of the highest leakage. So on average, we've had an average reduction from ILI from 4.62 down to 4.26. So we're heading in the right direction. There's still a lot of work to do, and we're still also working on our process. So our process is improving to get the leakage down. Put more funds into the leak detection program this year to increase that. And yeah, so I sort of view this as our small steps in the right direction and start to get better improvements.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, if consumption's also.
Yeah, well, the advantage in regard to this infrastructure leakage index, the consumption doesn't really play into it too much. But also, at the moment, when we do our private leaks are included in our numbers. So it's not just our leaks. So
it's not just our leaks.
No, because we have, if you've got a zone that's got all smart meters, we can take the private leaks out because we have real data coming in on. So at the moment, what we do is we assume that at 3 o'clock in the morning, every house is using an average of 2 litres an hour. But if you've got a house that's using 30 litres an hour, it's going to come through as leakage. That's why if we put up a map of our all the zones and show where the D's, C's, E's and A's, a lot of the D's are industrial zones. So what's clear there is we need to do more work to understand where the water use of those industrial zones at 3 o'clock in the morning. So some of that could be legitimate use. So I know I did work years ago where cool stores will run a freezing cycle at 3 in the morning, which uses a lot of water. So it's just interesting to note that a lot of those red zones aren't residential.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's good. So,
Data is,
yeah. So excuse the pumping, you're drilling down into that to get
Yeah.
the more accurate data of what we actually are losing.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Good.
Tyler,
I just wanted to ask some questions around the resource consents. And you got 99% in the water supply network. Slide 5. Are they our consents or are they some? And other ones that were non-compliant, could you talk to us a bit about those?
Yeah, I'll just have to go to the
That includes the wastewater too, I think.
so I think they were reporting errors, and some of these have, my understanding, all these have been corrected, but they remain on ECAN's register as non-compliant for quite some time until they come off. I can't handle the specific details, but they are more to do with the water supply data that we provide them, data gaps.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. And I've got a question about first water mains actually. And there's been about 3 or 4 residents who have had their street mains renewed, for example. The pressure changes, then they see leaks in private residents. I'm wondering if that's become a bit more common in the city.
This is the first I've heard of it, but I understand, it's what I've said before, if we have improved our network, that's increased pressure, then sometimes we'll have the private pipework isn't used to that pressure to get leaks. I'm surprised that replacing a water main has increased the average pressure, but it's
It probably has showed that they've already had some broken infrastructure already. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. And just a big shout out, by the way, for the Isle wastewater stuff. Phenomenal work. Budget looks great. So thanks so much for that.
Yeah, contractor's done a great job.
It's awesome.
Out the arse of it.
Sarah, please.
Thanks so much. I mentioned this last time, but it's great getting all the information on the water loss and the reactive maintenance, the leak kind of detection and stuff. But what I'm not seeing here is the progress on the new focus on renewals and sort of how proactive stuff our work to actually renew the network rather than just doing the leaks.
Oh, in terms of capital.
Yeah, that's it. So how's our renewals going? Because that's where we put the extra money in to get that program going so that we don't get as many leaks in those pipes later.
Yeah, we can definitely report that on the next. So to give you an update, just where we're at the moment, we have just in the process of putting out 2 significant contracts, which is about 40 million all up. They've got work in play, but that 40 million will put us ahead of program quite a bit in terms of what was in the longer term plan that way.
Yeah, well, the long term plan was what called for the extra investment, the annual and future.
So we are ahead in a program on delivering those targets in terms of water mains. And part of the reason for that is we look at overall capital spend this year. There's some projects that are going slower. So we'll look to move that money in terms of deliver some water mains quicker this year. And therefore that would have been delivered next year. That project's gone slower will be done next year. So yeah.
Yeah, it's great. So if we could get reporting on actually the renewals program, I think would be really useful because that's a core part of the water network. And as part of that, it's just that you don't get a pie chart of the overall condition of our pipes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just that whole, and we did that so early on the LTP process, the overall network condition as opposed to the number of leaks, the 1 to 5, and this is the projected with the speed that we've got the renewals program. This is how.
It's not those, it's just reran those just recently.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Would you just send them through in a memo then?
So there'll be actually the only water service delivery plan that you'll be seeing very shortly.
Yeah.
So they,
I was just thinking, someone the other day said we need to send draft plans through to Mata Arawai by the end of last month. Is that right?
plans for,
Water services plans. Do we have to send draft? Did we? I just saw it reported in the media that we had to do draft plans.
no, so
No?
the water service
Okay.
delivery plan will be going to the DIA 3rd September, but we're doing a briefing on it. Yeah,
Okay, and we'll just get that.
they'll have all the
Or
information that you talked about, those pie charts are in that document.
That's cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you. For the report. Just wanted to check on a number of the water things that we're doing. Are we keeping a record of what I'll call go backs to like earthquake repair stuff that we're then having to go back and fix? Like I know, for example, some of the old brick barrel had some PVC stuff, and then now they've been breaking and they're quite expensive now. Is there a kind of running tally or just a high level snapshot about what's happening with the go backs for skirt repairs?
We haven't, there's no list, keep it within that easily to, that'd be easy to create because we all very well know going back to do that, we don't forget, so we could easily pull those out. We haven't kept a list on record, but we know exactly what those projects are.
So in terms of like with roads, we know, for example, we've got 83 years before we get back to the condition we had before the earthquake. Do we have a similar target for water infrastructure?
No, we don't. So what we focus on the condition data we have at hand, and we have a service to maintain. So that's our focus as opposed to where we possibly would have prior to earthquake. Yeah. So
Just getting to the wastewater treatment plant, presume the design's nearly complete, or
so the tender package the contracts are pricing the design currently. So that went out on Friday, because when it was programmed to go out. So they're underway at the moment with that.
so that's really good.
Yeah.
Is how much of that can be made public?
Yeah, I mean, it all can be made public.
Right. Like, so the design's been done.
Yeah, design's been done.
Gone out,
Yeah, it's a substantial document.
Yeah.
But I mean, in terms of drawings, etc., that's.
Yeah. I mean, I just think it's a good news story.
Yeah.
I've worked really hard to keep it on track. But I just think if we could put maybe I don't know, sort of story or
Yeah, no, we can get that.
yeah. And I think we also requested that the next residents forum was when we had that design complete.
Yes,
So
that has been.
I think,
Pretty sure it's been booked.
okay, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I'll follow up. So.
Yeah, okay.
And we're also, sorry, I think we're coming end of August to give a briefing to council.
Right, yeah, okay. Just in the report, you've got the ODA event resulted in, but there's no date on that ODA event. Do you know when that was? This is just on the.
No, I can't recall the exact date. Yeah, I'll have to find out. It's probably the last 8 weeks.
Right, okay, so it's relatively recent.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, although it is. Yeah, the days start blurring to each other, but I'm pretty sure it was in the last 8 weeks.
Okay. I just think any information we've got around that would be useful. And just a final point on the wastewater treatment plant is when we get the presentation at community board, it's great. We get the time in which the aerators have been online or not. There seems to be a significant problem with the aerators that we bought. They constantly break down, don't seem fit for purpose. Is there any lessons that we've learned or any sort of review around why we ended up with such a bad product? I think we're going to a different supplier for the new ones.
Correct. Yeah.
But I was kind of interested to understand if there's any learnings that we can apply around how we got to this, how we got to the situation we got?
Yeah, there are learnings and they're quite clear and that wouldn't happen again. And so, yeah, definitely there's clear learnings from the process that was followed while we end up with those errors.
Okay. And just the last question from me around, not related to the wastewater treatment, but the chlorination issue. I think I've been told we're waiting for government to change the rules, or look at the rules, standards, review them by the end of the year. Is there any update you can give us around the desire that we've got as a council to remove chlorine from the water and get an exemption?
We've reached out to Marawa to have a meeting with them in early October. So, the rules you're talking about is more pertains to actually the treatment site. So our discussion with them is around the distribution and recirculation. So there's no rules changing in that space, but what we are wanting from them is to put in writing what we have to do to remove chlorine, so then we can go away, work out what it'll cost, and come back to council and say, this is, but we need that in writing from them. And they did indicate when they presented to council last time that they would take that approach of actually stating what was required, what we required, instead of us trying to second guess and then do all this work submit to find out that no, that's not what they want. So we teeing up a meeting early October with them to discuss that and look to get that in writing, so we do that exercise.
Yeah, so the research that they presented, that's all been kind of wrapped up now?
It has, but that's where the rule changes will have to come, which is in that research, which is around the not having to have chlorine contact time at the pump stations, save a substantial amount of money. So that's that. But obviously the other, in terms of no chlorine in the water, that's really the distribution is the work that we have to address.
Again, I think it's an issue that people are really interested in. Is it possible just to get a memo update around the company things?
Well, it would, but in terms of us having any substantial, so we following out the October meeting with.
Can we escalate that and get a meeting soon? Is there any reason why we're waiting till October? Like, it just seems quite far away.
I'd have to follow up, but that's it's okay.
Right, just one question, maybe. I see that design perspective by the end of September. When will you be able to go out for tender for the construction of it? Do you think you have it?
Oh, the activated sludge.
Yeah, will you have a contractor lined up by Christmas, say?
100%. So the documents are with the contractors. They're priced them now. The questions are flying in from them. So we will be awarding a contract going well in October.
So just quickly, I'm just looking at page 18 and I just noticed the Medusa model has been handed over to council. I think that's a study or a model that was initiated by the entity, and it can predict what contaminants will come off either a building or a site go into our waterways. Is there any opportunity, like in the future, to use that to determine what contaminants will come off a new build, especially if you're looking at a commercial scale, and then apply a charge to that for our contaminant cleanup, or to require that contaminant to be sourced preferably? Can we actually use this?
I'd have to go back and we'll have to look at that, because obviously you'd have to be you have to back that model 100% to do that.
Yes.
So and models can be as they are, not always they are a prediction of our best knowledge. So
particularly applies to
legal input.
zinc or copper surfaces
Yeah.
and grade car part surfaces that then it all runs off. So I'd be really interested to know how we can actually use it.
I'll follow that up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that won't be immediately, but we can develop it further. And also, what percentage of chlorine are we at now in the water? Parts per.
I couldn't tell you offhand, but it'll be. We're just trying to, if I recall from memory, the the standard is supposed to be 2 ppm at the extremities, but 15.
Okay, because
So you'd find, obviously, depending on where the pump station is, it might have to be up to 0.5 if it gets out the extremities. So it does vary through the network.
it's higher if you're near a pump station.
Correct, it'll degrade as it heads out to the end. Yeah, so, but it'll vary around the network, but we obviously do a lot of sampling, so we have a good understanding what it is through different parts of the city.
And does it vary at different times around the city? Because sometimes people say, oh, I've noticed a lot more pouring at the moment, and other times less.
I think if it does, it's because we are running a temporary system and we don't have online monitoring. So this is part of the project where we're going out putting permanent monitors in the stations over the next 2 to 3 years. So they will have that online, which means if a pump was the term we sometimes use is to drift and actually use some reason put more or an would know straight away and we can react to it. At the moment, with the simple way to grab some of it's twice a week.
That's work in progress.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Brilliant.